Mr. B and Mrs. B brain dump. Awesome. Oh yeah, like the boss. Awesome, like the boss. Oh yeah, awesome, like the boss.
Hey, hello, and welcome to the brain dump. Now then, I'm out for a reason today, and one of the things I've been dying to do that I haven't done for a while is a riding safe video, a safety video for riding your bike. Yes, I don't know what I'll call it yet. Well, I know what I'll call this one. I'll call this one Riding Safe in the Winter. Okay. Safety riding tips in the winter. Riding safety tips. Who knows what we're going to call it? Anyway, how to ride when it's the winter. Okay, now you'll have noticed that it's the winter here in the UK at the moment. Well, it's approaching, let's call it that, it's approaching.
Winter is coming.
And winter is coming!
When we go through this season, a number of things happen. The sun gets lower, there's less light, there's less hours of light, daytime hours, and the sun gets very low, and it sits low for quite some time. So there are a number of problems that causes for a bike rider. Okay, now one of them, of course, as you'll all be familiar with, is when the sun's low, it's blinding, absolutely blinding when you're riding towards it. So I really highly recommend, the first safety tip, get a dark visor. This weather, the low sun, is just blinding. If you've got a clear visor on, you can't see diddly. I mean it. So get a dark visor, carry a clear one if you're still riding when it gets to dusk. Okay, and I carry my clear one. Everyone says, where'd you put your clear visor? You've got nowhere to put it. I wrap it round my chest here. Okay, so that's where I put my clear visor when I know that I'm going to be out, or there's a risk of me going to be out in the sun. Okay, so that's the first one. Now, some other challenges that the low sun provides. That sun is just ridiculous. But there are some other challenges that presents as well, in terms of the sun and it being low. I'm just going to turn around here and find a better road, because this is just not. I'm not going down this road at this time of the day. Because I want to talk about some of the other problems that we get in the winter with the low sun. At the moment I can have my visor up because the sun's not glaring on me, but I can pop it down when the sun is in my eyes, which it will be very shortly. So visibility, obviously it's an issue, that's why I've got a dark visor on, but that helps me see other people and other risks and other hazards. But what it also does is there's a great example, I don't know if I picked up on camera. It hinders other road users, and they physically can't see. And this is what I'm going to say, yeah, ride invisible. Because, top tip for you, if the sun is on your back, okay, you have got an excellent view. Okay, you can see things really clearly, which is just as well, because anyone coming towards you in the other direction cannot see anything. It doesn't matter if you're wearing a high vis or not, they're just blinded, they can't see. You see the drivers are all covering their eyes with their other hand, trying to see what's going on. So if you've got the sun in your back, be prepared for everybody, and I mean everybody. I do it anyway, But you know, you might think I'm overcautious, but you prepared for everybody to pull in front of you, to pull out on you, to swerve into you. It's going to happen. They can't see. So you position yourself appropriately. You ride as defensively as you can when the sun is in your back. So there's tip number 2. So what about when the sun's in your eyes, like it is now there? Well, now it makes it harder for you to see. Even though I've got this dark visor, it's still a glare. Alright? So, what tips can you give when the sun is in your eyes? Well, obviously you're going to have to look harder. But again, how does that affect other road users? Well, the person in behind you in a car is going to be blinded in exactly the same way as you are, without fail. Okay? So what does that mean? Well, what it means is they can't see you. So, got a junction coming up in a minute, I think. I'll demonstrate. Let's pretend the sun is in my face now, and I'm heading towards the sun. And I come up and there's traffic queuing at a roundabout. I've got a car behind me now. Hopefully he doesn't get too close. But as you come up to your junction, or traffic, or any reason whatsoever that you have to stop on the right, if you can, of the traffic. In other words, outside of the wheel area of the car in front. So if the person behind is blinded, which they will be now, and this is where I get nervous, you can see the car behind me now. He's being blinded by that sun. Now I'll come up to this roundabout. I get right over onto the right, so that if he can't see me and he forgets to brake, or he thinks I've disappeared, then he's not going to smash into me. He's going to smash into the car in front, or just head out onto the roundabout blindly. Do not ever position yourself in the middle of the car in front. You are just waiting to become a bike sandwich. And there are plenty of videos of this happening, and not necessarily because of winter sun. The same applies. This is all about winter riding, okay? But the same applies at any time. Always position yourself outside of the car area, so that you can avoid being rear-ended and smashed, and keep an eye on what the car's doing behind. Okay, see, I managed to get myself away from all those cars now. Okay, so there we go. Road position: when the sun's in front of you and glaring in your eyes, get onto the right hand side. If you can't get on the right, then get on the left. But whatever you do, do not put yourself in the middle of the road waiting to become a bike sandwich. And trust me, if it's a lorry behind you, you do not want to be in the way when that thing slams into the car in front. Okay, so that's tip number 3, sun in your eyes. Next tip, okay, not so much about riding position here. This one is about staying warm.
You look cool, boys.
Tis a bit nippy.
Okay, you're out on your bike and you're on a bit of a long trip. Make sure you've got enough warm clothing on. Make sure you've got enough layers. If you like heated grips, your heated grips or your heated gloves. My preference, if it's extremely cold, heated gloves. Okay, they stay warm. Even when you're not holding the handlebars, your hands stay warm. Okay, so there we go. Make sure you stay warm. If you're starting to get cold, then stop.
I imagine you might be rather cold.
It's either me or this cold, and it doesn't appear to be going anywhere.
Stop somewhere, get a coffee, get a warm drink, take your leathers off if you've got an undersuit, get warmed up again, and then put that beneficial layer back on and get warm and go back out. You'll feel so much better for it. You'll be more alert. Basically, it's all good. Notice my positioning now. The sun is in my face. I'm staying out. I'm not going to filter because there's too many children around, but I'm staying out here purely to prevent a car from hitting me at the backside. And I've got my eye on him anyway. Almost about 30% of the time my eye is watching that car behind. And I can tell you it's a Ford Mondeo. Alright, I've not even looked over my shoulder. I've got a blue Ford Mondeo sat behind me. Could be a Ford Escort, Focus. If it's a Focus, I'm in trouble. So anyway, yes, keep him warm. Alright, make sure you stay warm. Get cold, stop, get a coffee, find somewhere you can get warmed up before you continue your journey. Alright. Yeah, so we were on about staying warm. That's the next top tip. Stay warm. Now on top of that, of course, one of the other things you want to do is stay dry. Okay, the last thing you want to be is wet and cold.
It's cold and it's wet.
So the next top tip is carry waterproofs. Now, I'm not on a long trip today. I'm just come out to do this vlog specifically because it's the same conditions that I'm talking about that you need to be aware of. So yes, if you know that there's a good chance it's going to rain, or you might get caught in a quick shower, take some waterproofs as well. And whatever you do, you don't want to get soaked through to the skin in winter, because you will just not be able to get warm after that.
That's cold.
Some of the tips on staying warm would be to wear a couple of layers of socks, good thick socks. Keep your feet warm so you can operate your operating gear. Yep, your gears and your brake pedal, and obviously your levers as well. Make sure your hands are warm, make sure your feet are warm, your extremities, and obviously your head is nice and warm. And wear a neck warmer as well if you can. Can get quite uncomfortable in the winter if you've got your neck exposed to the elements. Wind chill factor of -4 on your neck for a while, you'll soon know about it.
Oh, that's all right, I'm fine.
You're not. You're freezing.
So yeah, stay warm, stay dry. So what else can we recommend for winter riding? I think what the other things is, and I've only just done mine, is a good pre-ride check. Always do a good pre-ride check before you go out in the winter. I've just done mine, and there'll be a video on it as well. So continuity for you. You'll see that soon. But yeah, go over everything. There's a link to my pre-ride check. I'm not going to say now what it is. Just look at that, and you'll see all the things that you need to check over, especially in the winter. It's slightly more thorough, I think, than your kind of daily check. But every time in the winter, do that thorough check that I do in my video that there's a link to up there. Okay. So we've talked about the sun. We've talked about keeping warm. Also remember, of course, your tyres aren't going to be as warm. They'll take a lot longer to warm up, so consider that as well. I mean, to be honest, you shouldn't really be riding like an idiot anyway in the winter, because the other thing, of course, if we look down here, you'll see there's a load of leaves. Now, they're not wet at the moment. It's quite a dry day, actually. It's a dry, fairly cool day, but the roads are fairly dry and the leaves are dry, so they're not quite as bad. And I think that leads me on to the other two things, really, which come under the same... My flipping fans just come on. Which come under the same bracket as riding in the wet, really. Wet leaves are slippery. Moist, yeah, let's go there. So in the morning, on those lovely foggy winter mornings, there'll be a lot of dew on the road, moisture, and that will be sat on leaves that are going to be moist and slippery. And of course, it'll also be on the diesel. You can see the diesel right here at the traffic light. See up there going up towards that white arrow line there, that's all diesel there. So yeah, you've got your wet leaves, or moist leaves. Something funny about the word moist. Okay, this guy, watch him. Now I've got the sun right in my eyes again now. Sure you can see that. So again, it's look out for people behind me. I just naturally now, as soon as the sun starts glaring in my eye, I'm checking my mirrors more. Look at my shadow in the rear there. Jesus. Yeah, so I'm checking the rear a lot more now to look out for people that are blinded that might flipping just run into the back of me. But luckily at the moment, oh, there's a car now, but there wasn't a minute ago. So yeah, the moisture. That sun's really bad. See, cars coming towards me can see me probably really well, but I'm still not willing to take the risk, of course. But the ones behind are the ones to watch. Yeah, I was on about, oh god, let's get this one over and done with. Slippery road. Winter mornings, slippery roads, absolutely guaranteed. Wet leaves, diesel, that morning dew that you get on the road surface, absolute nightmare. So you've got to be really careful. You have to go around corners like they are worse than ice. Not like they're ice, worse. I'm pretty certain that the combination of diesel, wet leaves and moist roads is far more slipperier or far more slippery than ice. I'm sure you get more traction from ice. Because everything I've seen, people just go down like a bag of shit as soon as they try and lean the bike over any amount on a corner. Like a roundabout is a classic. Always go down like a ton of shit. Front wheel just goes. Always the front. Pretty much anyway. I've had the back come out of me, but that's because I got on the throttle a bit too soon as I came out of the corner, which isn't as bad as the front, to be fair, and you can sort of get control of that. But if the front just goes on you, that's it. The bike's going down on the floor, just chuck it away. So corners on those winter mornings are deadly. Go around it. Someone even suggested go around with your feet down. No, I don't recommend that. Just go around upright, basically. But if you are that concerned or want to be that cautious, you can put your feet down. I don't recommend putting your feet down. But anyway, there you go. There's the option as well. But whatever you do, don't try and crank the bike over in any sort of lean angle to go around the roundabout. Should I have a red bomb? Okay, so I think that covers all the topics I wanted to do. The main ones anyway. I'm certain I've left some topics out. But if you've got any questions, regarding riding safer or trying to stay safe in the winter, and I've not covered them, or there's something you want to ask, just put them in the comments down below and I will answer them, I promise. So there you go. I think that covers it really. So thanks for watching. Love you, bye. Kind of somebody's fucking indicated to come my way. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to ride safe, ride invisible, especially in the winter. Love you, bye.
Winter is coming. Winter is coming.
Mr. B and Mrs. B. Brain dump. Awesome. Oh yeah. Like the boss. Awesome. Like the boss. Oh yeah. Awesome. Like the boss.